Hi, so since you guys have been seeing I've been making some of the artwork for Citycat, I thought I would do a demonstration of how I make the graphics. So basically, for now, I'm using McDraw. It's really nice little art tool, web-based, and yeah, I get quite good work done on it. So let me just import one of the images that we've done so far. So let's see. We got Mega Style. Where is it? Citycat. Right. And code. Not code. Sign. Scenes. Now, if you've paid. If you've donated on the itch page, you'll actually get all these graphics with archive stuff and various files that I created as inspiration in the past. Some old bits and bobs that you'll see in there. Mostly graphics, all graphics actually. Stuff that's subject to change. But anyway, I'm going to load up one of my pretty scenes here. I'll go with this one. Right, so you can see this is how we do it. We skip 3 squares for the borders because we want to use them for some kind of message or UI. But yeah, this is basically how it's done. I'm going to switch to the second panel here, and what I do is make a diagonal like this. So we just do 2 dashes, 1, 2, 1, 2, like that, which is basically 4:1 aspect ratio or isometric. And you see I'm using this copy and paste. So I do that, and knowing that my image is going to end so there, right? That's kind of my workspace there. Alright, now I can do the same here. Even though the ninja music is awesome, it's just a little bit loud. Okay, so just want to figure out what kind of scene I want to make first, so I'll just do that for now. Get rid of all this stuff, and that's just my guide. No, we don't necessarily have to be restricted to that, but that's just the guide so far. So one of the scenes I need to make is one of the first scenes actually, so I want to start working from the start. I've been working from, oh my god, what happened there? That's gone wild. Okay, sometimes it goes a bit nuts like that. Always undo. Right. Can't redo though. Right. As I was saying, I need to start making some of the scenes from the start of the game, because what you've seen in the demo so far is some of the scenes at the end of the game. So it's a bit of a spoiler. There's stuff that still needs to be done to make it worthwhile, but I need to start making the start of the game, so hopefully you've forgot about all that by the time you start doing new builds and things. But anyway, this first scene is you coming in from the lake. So basically you're on a boat on your way to land, and you're a cat with amnesia. You don't remember anything, you're just drifting along in a boat, like, why am I not on a boat? And kind of like, what's my purpose in life? And you're really just trying to find your true purpose, so it's kind of poetic in a way. So I'm just going to draw in this. Let's see, I only need to go to there. That's what's happening, I've gone to the edge. Or doesn't like you going out of the bitmap area. Just one of the little limitations for the web side of things, no doubt. Right. Oh, I'll just fill all that in as well. Right, so got water, got land. It's a start. It's as good a start as any. So now we're just going to draw in the edge of this back. It's going to make some kind of rocky lines. You need to imagine that this cliff is actually higher up than the water itself. It's not like a shoreline. So I could make like the Commando soundtrack, I'm sorry. I could make it like it's like a beach, right? But I want it to feel a bit more rugged than that. Like he has to climb to get up here. So I'm going to add in a few rocks. Now I'm breaking a few colour rules, but the good thing is McDraw doesn't punish you. But if you click this, you'll see that the sort of bad areas that you need to fix one of these colours. For some reason it always chooses like the first one or something that you put in there, maybe. Don't know. But I would always say like choose the one with the least amount. That way you know how insignificant or significant that might be. But with McDraw, all you do is just save it and load it again, and it'll fix stuff. And then you can fix the fixes if they're bad. So I'll pick those little rocks here and there. Yeah, wait a minute. There's more to this than I'm seeing. Oops. That's it. So little rocks and little bushes and stuff like that, right? So that's kind of the composition idea, right? So now we can get rid of these actually. These 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Get rid of these three again. We're keeping it kind of widescreen like that to use this for UI. Just do the same up there. Really in a Commodore 64 music mood tonight. Let's do the Jerome Tell one. I do like that one. Better. Right. I do like Jerome Tell's music. Very melodic and easy to listen to. Rob Hubbard, awesome as well, but very uses a kind of very drilling sound sometimes. Matt Gray is obviously amazing as well, but quite dark stuff. Right, so come in from here. I want the boat to sort of be small when we see this shot. So we see a shot of the boat across the sea coming away from where it's coming from, but I want to see it kind of coming in kind of down there like that. And we've got a little cat, sitting on there. It'll be a sprite that does this, but the little cat will sort of sit on there. Probably better to be black. Right, could do that as a bitmap or replace it with a sprite later. But that gives me a kind of general idea of what boat. I don't know if it's got a sail on it. I don't think so. I think it's just drifting. It's just on it. Right. So now suddenly that feels much smaller, and we need a bit of reflection from the sun. Obviously we don't see the sun because we're kind of looking down onto the water, we're not seeing the horizon. That wouldn't really help. Let's try just a little bit. Let's just say that. Yeah, that helps a little bit. That does help a little bit. So let's just make a really bright sun. Is the sun high? Is the sun low? Is it morning? Is it night? Is it sundown, sunrise? I'm just going to assume it's way up here somewhere so we don't actually see it. Right, that helps. Just carry on. So a little bit. This is a little bit darker than yellow. Still using 3 colours. Remember our background's black, so we can't really do much about that. McDraw kind of doesn't limit you to black, but I just find it's easy to stick to black with McDraw, especially when it does the colour correction when you re-import your image. So, like for example, you'll see these issues here. Let me switch back to that. Right, I'll clear it in a second. So let me download. Switch back to that and then import that one. Nodes. Right, you'll see the difference of what it fixed. So you can check this. It's fine. Check this one. It's broken. Right, so it's fixed stuff. And if you look it up here, there's very little difference in it. Right, I'll make more mistakes as I go. That's why I'm not being too careful right now anyway. So then go ahead and do some pattern stuff. Little dithers. I do like the checker dither a lot. It just gives you that halfway colour that you need to help the image. I would get away with a third colour up here, so I'm just going to go for white and just dot it a bit, just as a kind of little glisten. Right, so that's that. We can go darker here. So then I'd say a step down darker from this blue is this purple, but then it's a kind of warmer tone. So you can go for grey. Right. I don't think grey is the best option because it's almost exactly the same. I wish they made this grey just slightly darker, and this one, these two, slightly darker would have been so much better. So what I'll do is I'll just use a little bit of dark blue here. I'll turn that off. I'll just use a bit of dark blue here. Just at the edge a bit. And then I'll kind of checker that in. Right, just for a kind of feeling of it. In fact, what I'm going to do is make use of all these, the dither ranges. A bit of that, next one up. You'll see it will come through in a second. Next one up. That'll fix that later. Next one. That gives us this nice gradient here, and in fact this is also a kind of down step from the cyan. Depends how and where you use it, but I find just using it a bit sparingly will help. Right, and I can also use a little bit of this in here. Got room for one more tone. Use a little bit there, and grey. Why not? Right. I'm going to erase the boat because again I will want to do it as Sprite. Just do this guy. Also I want to help this guy a bit with a little bit of a gradient. So I'll use green. Green's kind of like the brighter version of cyan. Yellow can be used as well, but I find green's really nice. And then what I'll do is I'll do shaker effect. A couple of times like that. And one more. It's a wee bit noisy. That's good like that. I don't like the reflection here. So again, that's another thing that might be handled with a sprite, you know, just for effect, the kind of water moving about. We want to kind of convey that with a bit of movement, so we can use a sprite. I'll just kind of make this look kind of decent. Right, now that that's done, since there's a sun up here somewhere, above the ground, I need to kind of show that, so I'll do little bits of rim light on some of these rocks to kind of point at the sun. You see, I'm always thinking the sun's up here, so they should all be kind of looking at the sun, right, pointing towards it. That will really help sell it a bit. See, it's kind of made a kind of 3D effect. And then since that kind of browny orange is there, I'm just going to use that as my mid-tone. That will help colour clash later. Right, kind of keeps things tied in as well. So this is partly a blend of the intro scene and going into game. What will happen is the boat will come in, it'll climb up here, and then it'll sort of come out at this point, and you'll have control of them. It kind of blends in. Sorry for the spoilers. I'm sure it'll all be worth it in the end. It'll be better when you can actually play it and you can then say, I'm a man in my word when that actually happens. We'll see. So yeah, I'm just putting in some checkers here just to help, I don't know what you would call it, give texture to it, I suppose. I don't want to use pure black either, because black kills a painting. Like, there was something that I always kind of was either told or learned when I was doing art. Just don't use black, just avoid it. Because you're kind of committed too strongly to what you're doing. You don't have room to manoeuvre, so we'll stay away from pure tones like that. Same with white, you know, use it sparingly. Of course your paper's white when it comes to art, so add a bit of grey. Looks a bit. Just going to do these little dashes in here. I kind of want to show the pathway though, kind of want it. I think we maybe come in here and kind of, yeah, just make this feel and look a little bit different. I want to feel like you're guiding the player through this. Maybe some little grassy bits. You see how it just starts to build up and get a bit of atmosphere? Of course, the best time to use black is for foreground stuff that's maybe in silhouette, right? And I usually use it to help frame an image. So, like if there was a tree here, I'll kind of look at the bottom, like that. Bob Ross style, right? Maybe there's a tree that lives right here. happy little tree. Ruined. Yeah, like Bob Ross said, always cover up stuff that look quite good, but the whole thing just helps make the thing work right. You would know if you were an artist. You would know, trust me. It's all about the building up the layers and stuff, making it more interesting. You just have to keep on adding. Essentially, you can be a non-artist, but if you just keep adding to the one thing, you've made something way better than if you just gave up and left it. Well, try it. Try just not giving up on something. Be like, I'm just gonna go crazy and keep adding and adding and adding and adding. Even if it's crazy, like one of the first things I used to draw were like robots and really square robot shape, and then just like add loads of like antennas and stuff and little radars and buttons and stuff that look crazy cool in my mind. So there we go. This tree also helps to say, right, this isn't a place that you would walk. I want you to come out here, and I don't know, I'll make it look obvious. There should be like a road or something. I think I want it to be a road. I'll go back to this brush. You can see it still exists. Still remembered it, and switch that to this, and pop in this road here. Like that, and then fill that. That's great. That's a road. I love this brush, so it kind of just remembers the last one that you grabbed. You can't grab background though. What else? Could start kind of colouring this tree, so I'll add like blue for the leaves. Why blue? Why not? The leaves in your mind might be brown, but colour theory suggests otherwise, that objects are only the colour of how the colour of the light that hits them plus their own colour, right? So green plus a bit of a blue sky is going to make these look more bluey. If I use pure green, it's one of those things that just it doesn't help it. You can sort of mix it with grey or whatever, and since blue is there, you can kind of use a bit of blue. So colour theory stuff. I do want to use black as well, because we're still in a kind of silhouette. Not the best look for this. It looks kind of weird. It looked fine without it. See how many undos I've got. I think just a few here and there. Let's go for purples actually, to make it feel a bit of a warmer day. Some of these don't help when they are like that. Right in front, so I just need to push them back with black. Now, that will do that. So now if I want to make this tree sort of stand out, I'm going to have to highlight the edge a bit. I want to use grey because it's a bit brighter than this without going to pink. You know what I mean? Pink's too vivid. And then I'll switch back to that one, and then maybe some brown. Right. I'll polish all this up later. I just want to throw some stuff in that works right now. Right, and then the road, I want it to feel a bit rough, because it's kind of off the beaten track. And you think about the size of the sprite stuff as well. So many little things to think about. I need something that tells me human scale. If this is our sprite size, it's a pretty small cat. So I think a little signpost like that is quite good. Get a little signpost. I've used black, which I don't really want to use, so I'll use brown. It just helps make the right depth balance. But what I'll do is use blue, because blue's kind of like, even though it's blue, it's one of the sort of darker tones. Again, it's a colour theory thing that blue is less in your face than like a warm colour. Anyway, I'll spare you the colour theory logic. Just going to put that in there just to help. I could have just left that as brown, to be fair, but I'm me, and that's just what I want. Right. Shadow, so that if I was doing a shadow, in fact that might be a shadow there. Think about it. Need a bit more of that. So the colours of shadow is going to be these rocks, brown. The longer I make the shadow, the taller the rock will feel as well, or something like that. Again, I need to do it based on the sun position. I don't want to use black in these areas because they'll come too forward. The contrast usually sits with foreground better than background. Alright, and I like to break up the foreground with more foregroundy things, but I just need to be careful of where, because I don't want this to feel not like a road, and if there's stuff too close to the road it might give that illusion that it's more of a path, which is starting to kind of look like. I think it doesn't matter too much, to be honest. It's not a big deal in this case. So make this little pathway fade a bit. Get that little gradient there. Oh, there we go again. I'm gonna have to save this because if I don't save it now, I could be in for a problem. This bit feels bare, so I'm gonna add some shrubs, some bushes. You know, side of the road type of bush stuff. Here as well, and that helps to say, like, you know, you can't really go here. I get the feeling like the scales might have to change once the cat's in. I could also import the cat sprites and sort of grab one. Let's do that actually, so save first. Switch here and import. I've still got it. Yeah. It's made it full screen. Scale, don't scale. What's this scaling? That's not what I wanted. Another idea is Citycat, GM, resource, this one, Sprites, cat, one. Why is it making them big? I think it's about the size. It's not the right size either. Quite drop this anyway. This is how I can do it. So yeah, I'll open up downloads this one, and then I'll add this guy. Right, so plop that down, grab this guy, and there we go. Actually looks quite good. So that's how I can tell if he's the right scale and stuff. You can switch the pixel mode here to 2200. Data range. So I think on my palette. There we go. So he's snapping. So he's gonna kind of climb up and off there. Little boat will come in. He's going to be behind that tree. We could sprite mask it out. Who knows? Right. Behind that. Right. So that sprite mask. This is quite cute. That size. So yeah. Maybe this is a bit big. That's how I can tell my sizes and stuff. So let me just grab down a bit. Okay. Oops. Nothing needs to be perfect at this point anyway. Like I often revisit the bitmaps quite often and fix them up. But yeah, that's how you get like lots of different tones using these gradients and stuff, and just suggesting the shapes of things. So you can't really get perfect graphics on a Commodore. You can sort of push it as far as you can. Hope for the best. That's making a lot of noise. It's power hungry backdrop designer. It does a lot of rendering if you don't want it to. Right, blue is also a kind of good down step from that, but I'm using my 3 tones here over and above black. So what I'll do instead of trying to make an intermediate tone is just make my bright tone. I'll try to remember the sunlight position, so let's try and sort of point at that in these arcs. Should help a bit. I always squint my eyes. Shut an eye and squint the other one, make it blur. Looking at this image also helps. So yeah, this scene's a bit different from the other ones in the sense that it's kind of part intro, part getting into gameplay. Again, sorry for the spoilers. Hopefully it's just another layer of interest for you guys, you know, to see what's going through my head when I'm making these. Right. I'll show this path a little bit more. Oops. Happy accident a little bit. I think I'll make the few rocks a little bit light here. because it's Friday night, so I'm just having a couple of cans, as you do. I think a few more little shrubs and bits would be good. We'll see how it goes with the conversion when I get back in after exporting it. I'll sort that bit out. Gonna make it feel like the edge, you know. Right, we'll export that, and then all you need to do is import it again. And that does the... damn it. That does the fixes. That's the scale bounce, and I think that's... So now if I switch between them, you can see it's got rid of a whole lot of yellow. So because it's done that, I'm going to opt to get rid of my yellow highlights completely, because it doesn't read so well if it's only on a few bits. They look like, you know, some are wet rocks or whatever. I'll just do them all like that. Take it on the chin, that didn't work so well. That was a bad decision. Right, so that's kind of balanced it out. The road needs a little bit something. Just a few little... I think what will happen then is we'll come out of this scene and it'll be a bit of an open road or something, and then I'm not going to tell you what happens next. But just remember, we've got a lost cat here. The cat is lost. Little stones, little long shadows. Something here that looks kind of a bit poo, and I'm kind of limited myself on what kind of things I can make, so I'll just put in some more grassy bits to do a little bit more contrast because it's in the foreground. It needs a little bit of help. Okay, I feel like doing the big rocks. This. I find those look pretty cool. Just big flat shapes. And then the occasional little crack or something. Yeah, I think that's kind of good. A bit more of that. So you just kind of evolve whatever it is you're making. You just kind of evolve stuff as you see it. You can go wild for a while. So like your first couple of pieces, if you're getting into art, kind of just go nuts. Do what you want. No harm in it. Nobody's gonna judge you. In fact, you'll probably impress yourself more than anything. I need to add, just to help sell this, just a few little outlines. Obviously, I've overkilled it, but okay. So a few little things that will fix themselves. So again, I like to export PNG and flip and then import. That way I can kind of see the difference. So before changes, after changes, you can see where it's fixed. You can always check it like that. So then I would check it in the monitor preview, which would be nice, and then check it in the vice preview. Yeah, and that works quite well. It's kind of what I had in mind. I think I'll get rid of this rock here because it's right where I want the cat to come up, and I thought it'd be nice to sort of climb up a rock, but now I think I don't want it to be so apparent. So I'm going to get rid of there, and this little area feel a bit more approachable. That's actually a good idea there, to make this feel like a kind of open cliff edge. You can kind of see down the side of it, but yeah, that helps. A few little vertical lines just to show that's an up and downy bit, and then the edge can be kind of highlighted. Yeah, a few little dots just to suggest pathway. You know, because people have trodden there. And again, you know, just use that in various places. Like a little stick and a shadow. Stick and shadow. Almost like old shrubs, trees and bits. I don't need to fill every single space equally. It's the thing that's a bit of a habit, is that people will space things too equally, whereas it's much more kind of irregular. You can see I'm doing it. Sorry, I'm just sharing a post here. Now I just want to make this a little bit brighter here. Wow, what a tune. For 3 channels, the Sid and the artist that made Sid tunes were just masters of the music. It's what always kind of inspired me is that, the music side. So you see a lot more depth in it, and that's what I kind of like to try and pull out. There's a lot of grain, noise and depth, so I try and sort of mix colours every now and again. Red here, why not? That just helps create texture and makes it feel like more colours. See, I'm using this pattern here as well. Nice randomness to it. Switch to this one. A bit more colour. This one. Grey. Dark grey. Kind of making the most of what the C64 could give me in terms of a palette. Now I'm doing that thing where you just let your eyes move about, just look at stuff. Just wherever you look, you just add something small and sort of significant, I suppose. Here, standing out like a sultan. And let's try a blue. Yeah, that pretty much does it. No point doing any more. I don't want to oversell this image. Do a little vignette at the edges here just for effect. See, I like to add something just to the edges, just to break up the harshness of it. I feel like a bit more painterly or whatnot. I lost a lot of nice stuff. Why is it made these way like that? I don't like that idea. No, yours can go. Let's care more for my little. I lost a bit down here, but yeah, that's what it is. Nobody's ever gonna know. This looks odd. See, it's not letting me have it, so I'll just need to lose one of these. This is grey there. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll break this up a bit so it doesn't look like a phone dial. Just draw a few little lines like that through it just to help noisify it a bit more. Same here. That's it. Export PNG, export PRG, KLA. Usually grab all those three, and then I test it on C64, Dice, downloads. Give it a really weird name. It's going to open. What the gosh, it looks so different here. Let's see the CRT stuff. Everybody's going to get something slightly different. Not really seeing the scan line effect. Scan line, not really seeing that. Anyway, that's it. That's how I make up images, and yeah, thanks for watching. Happy weekend. See you later.